Alright, so before I even begin this, you guys are going to have to just understand, you will need to bear with me. I took down so much information about my team because you know that is my main mode. I needed to know as much about it as possible. I took down 3 to 4 pages worth of notes, as well as stuff I saved in the notes on my phone. All of it, I have some stuff that isn't even, I don't even think people really talked about in their videos yet. Not huge stuff, but stuff that is also exciting to hear about. So without further ado, let's just get to it. Starting off, Road to Playoffs is now called MyTeam Online, and seeds are now called tiers. As you work through your tiers and you try to win the seed or quote-unquote tier, the better record you have, the better the reward you will get when you finish the tier. There is a best possible reward if you sweep every single game, and there's still lower tier rewards which are probably still decent if you just make enough games to move on to the next seed. But here's the kicker: if you choose to move on to the seed without sweeping the seed for the best reward, you cannot go back and you then cannot get that reward. So it gives you incentive to do as best as you can, and every game you need to go full try hard to try and get that W if you really want that end of the tier reward. And I don't even know what those are yet. I only know a couple of them. Challenges, there will now be 5 to 7 of them per week, and they will not exactly be full games either. Even the quarter lengths I know of are shorter. Some of them might even be 3 minutes long if I heard properly. And from challenges, sometimes they'll even release ones that are topical, and not just topical, but simple things. Like, we were given the one where Stephen Curry had to come back and hit that game winner against the Thunder last year. That would have been a challenge, and I think it might be a challenge this year. Hit the game winner or go into OT. When you complete all of these challenges in a group, you receive tokens, and you can use all the tokens that you collect from these challenges to turn in for a player. To my knowledge, that is how it works. And now lots of the old card gems have been reintroduced, but just to give some idea of what level overall that player is: bronze, silver, gold, emerald, ruby, sapphire, onyx, which is free agent cards, diamonds, and pink diamonds. And to my knowledge, I think anything 93 and above is a diamond, and pink diamonds are only 99 overall. But this is not a perfect segue, because the highest level overall people going into my team now will be Steph, obviously, and LeBron. But in my team, their stats have been scaled downwards. Not to say that they are now underrated or they won't perform just as good, but my team scaling stats are no different from regular roster scaling stats. So for example, Steph, I'm not going to tell you his regular roster rating, but you can probably find it somewhere. His my team roster rating to start the year is going to be an 85. And you're going to hear that and you probably make a rage comment right now, right the fuck no, but you know what, either way, you're not going to do anything about it. You're just going to have to use that goddamn 85 step, so don't come complaining to me. Alright, I just went off on a tangent, sorry. But the point that I was trying to make is that these scales are now scaled down to make sure that there's room for improvement as the year goes on. Because remember, last year there was just like a 90 something overall, a diamond for like 3 diamonds for multiple players. So now they're leaving room available for you to make a better version of the player as it goes on. And for all the people asking me, this was something that I was actually going to leave from a subscriber Q&A, because I took all the questions that all my subs asked me and I asked all the devs as quickly as I could just to get out of the way. And no, when you use free agent cards in friendlies, it does not use up a use. So you can just hold on to like one more use of the card, so you can use it in friendlies over and over, because that way you get to keep using it as a novelty. That's what I'm going to do with the Kobe free agent card when you get him as a pre-order bonus. Now let's jump into PacSun Collection. So with collections being first, sadly I wasn't given the opportunity to go in and try out the MyTeam pack opening system and get a feel for it myself. All gem cards are now in one pack because no gem is specific. There is no emerald pack, sapphire pack. You just open the pack and that card gem just determines what they're overall, and you get a different animation based on the gem you pull, which is cool. You kind of get the feel, you like there's a build up again. It isn't just generic, because you remember the fun days of 2K13 My Team was the build up of opening the packs, and there will be a build up, you'll get a different animation and you can freak the fuck out whenever you feel like it. Thursdays, teams will be combined into Throwback Thursday packs, and packs will now be extended throughout Thursday. I believe they said they'll push it throughout the weekend, maybe through Friday, and multiple teams will be put into a pack every single Thursday. It's not just we've added Monte Ellis and Bill Russell and Bill Cash Money Cartwright to the pack today. No, they're adding multiple teams into the pack, and you can just pop them open and get who you get. From what I was told, collecting all players of a current team earns the Sapphire reward player. So for example, I know this one is a fact, if you collect all the players under Orlando Magic, you will get a Sapphire Grant Hill. And then the Sapphire player goes into the historic collection of the team, and when you complete the historic collection, then you unlock a Diamond bronze player from that team's collection, and I believe it is Diamond Shaq. And I know there is a Diamond Penny Hardaway in there somewhere. There is a Diamond Drazen Petrovic. I believe there's a Diamond Larry Bird. There is a Wilt somewhere in there as well. There are also new collection reward players that are new to the mode. There have been new players added. They didn't really release who it was, or I didn't even get to see or hear who it was, but there are new collection rewards. There are new players that you get in the mode. There have been new players added, so we don't know who it is yet. There have probably been some big names, but they're not out there yet. Dynamic cards also have been replaced with moment cards. I love the idea of dynamic cards because it was realistic, but the thing that they said that counteracted it all was that moment cards, they embody what dynamic cards really is. It was just a dynamic performance by somebody that just happened to go off and he has an increased card. But they weren't able to update dynamic cards as much as they wanted to, and lots of the times you'd find even their current versions being higher than their dynamic version, and then suddenly that card is useless. So even though it was a good idea, it wasn't gone about in the right way, so they chose to discontinue that and just follow along with moments. And as far as moments go, you remember how it used to wait maybe a couple of days or even the day after sometimes to get the moment card out? Their goal is when a moment happens, they're hoping to get the card in within that same night. It will just make you just jump on the game right away and pop out in some packs and hope you can get that guy. Years on cards are now gone. So no, instead of having a 1994 Chris Mullin, a 1990 Chris Mullin, a 2000s Chris Mullin, and all of their stats is dependent on how the player did that season, it will be Pacers Chris Mullin, or Olympic Chris Mullin, or Warriors Chris Mullin, to embody how that player did and what their stats were like when they played for that specific team. So it avoids the complete clusterfuck that was having just 5 different guys of the same player, and then you're like, why do I even need this one when I can just get the best one and that's it? No, if you want that version because it has that specific type of stat, then go and get that version. And with how the MyTeam stats have been scaled down now, it's as if they're making it out to be that this guy is going to have a niche. Every guy, until they get overpowered down the line, is going to have a niche. So if you get this guy, it's because he can do this, this, and that, not because he can do everything really, really well. Also, when you open a pack, you will notice that guy's dynamic duo. Dynamic duo is something to be introduced that was very reminiscent of chemistry. I remember, I think I had that on one of my MyTeam wish lists at some point. Basically what it is, when the guy comes out to the pack, it's going to say who this guy can pair up with to give him a stat boost when they play together. So that ranges from college to the NBA to where they're from to their national teams, and even miscellaneous stuff that they just added for the fun of it, just to give that guy a duo because people might want to use him. For example, one really out of left fucking field one that I didn't know, you probably saw it in the video that I did with Kuda. You will get a Joel Embiid and his dynamic duo is Blake Griffin. Why the fuck is his dynamic duo Blake Griffin? This is why. Because there were 2 athletes that were injured in the first year of their careers and then came back the second year. I don't even think Embiid came back the second year, but whatever the fuck, that is the point. Blake Griffin is Joel Embiid's dynamic duo, but that does not necessarily mean Joel Embiid is Blake Griffin's dynamic duo. Blake's probably be Chris Paul or DeAndre Jordan, but the point is, these players now tie themselves together. So Embiid would be tied to Blake, Blake would be tied to DeAndre, DeAndre would be tied to Chris, Chris could be tied to like Bosh, Bosh could be tied to LeBron, LeBron could be tied to what you see what it is? It's like a chain. But the thing is, you can't have every single dynamic duo boost active at once. You can only choose to have one up at any given time. But it's cool that there's an aspect of chemistry, and I'm sure as MyTeam progresses now, I'm sure that having multiple duos will have some kind of boost in itself. I spoke to Abe and he didn't really give me much information on the auction house. He just told me that they made enough changes to make it more user friendly. As far as user friendly goes, I hope that means being able to have more time slots to put up your cards. I don't agree with player caps on prices, but some cards are just so overvalued that there needs to be some extent to where you can stop a guy from having this card and dictating the fact that you need to pay 1,000,000 fucking coins for it when he's not even worth that much, but you really want to use. I asked him about that and he didn't tell me anything specific, but he would give me a look and just say, we've done something about it, or we've at least tried. He didn't say player caps, and I don't think he even meant player caps because he would have just said so, but he said we've tried to do something about it. Domination, you don't get to choose your domination reward. You probably saw me talk about this with Kuda. When you start the mode, you'll get the choice between 1 through 5 superstar cards as trial cards, and I'm pretty sure Steph is in there somewhere. When you beat your first game, you get another choice of another one. And in domination mode, they keep on. I loved this, and especially in the gauntlet and the tiers as well, and how you get to choose your rewards. In domination, when you beat regular domination and when you beat historic domination, you get to choose which card you want. Remember last year I didn't only get Kid and Pippen? What if I did, at those times I didn't even need a point guard or a small forward. I didn't need a small forward. I did use Kid for a while, but I did end up replacing him anyway because he wasn't the best point guard to use in my team. Now you get to choose, I think by position, which player you want, and I think that is very, very, very cool. It's a new dynamic. Now everybody will probably have a little bit of a different team, and I think with the dynamic duos, everybody will have a bit of a different team because now you can build your team with whatever kind of chemistry you want, especially with the boost. Now everybody will have their choice of who they want to use and how they want to use them. You don't have an excuse to say, well, I'm forced to use these gold cards and because I just don't want to pay for, you know, VC or whatever, I'm open packs. Well, if you go ahead and play the game, you can get diamonds just like the rest of us, and I probably won't use the same diamonds that you're using because I might want different boosts, or I just want a different look to my team, or maybe that guy isn't my playstyle, but we all get to choose now who we want from what. Also in MyTeam Online, there are no restrictions. You can jump into it day one with an all bronze team or somehow with an all fucking diamond team if you can pull that off. I'm sure there are some people who will just have like higher tier cards. I know I fucking will, to be honest with you. I won't even front. When I first start 2K every year, I go into my team and I grind Domination out for the first game, so I'll probably try to have one of those diamond cards and just run into road to the playoffs and troll people. But no, you're able to actually, it was a question that I had written down for the devs too, to be able to do manual celebrations. When you now shoot with the pro stick and after you let the shot go, if you hold the pro stick in any direction, up, down, left, or right, you will do a different celebration when you let the shot go. I feel that is very, very cool. No, I don't need to get paused. Well, people probably still fucking pause on me, but I don't need to pause on you to talk shit. I'll just do a celebration right away, like, hold that shit, bitch! As for packs, I did ask Abe about what pack types would be coming this year, and he told me there would be a lot more than last year and they're trying to be more intricate. But when I asked him what types of packs, he didn't want to tell me. I'm saying, well, hold on to it for the future because it's still marketing. They want it to be a surprise when it's coming up, so I understand that to that point. But I was able to sneak this from him. I asked him, would there be Olympic cards considering that this game is kind of surrounded by the Dream Team? He said yes, there will be Olympic cards in this game, and it automatically let me know that there will be some form of probably an Olympic pack.
It was at this moment that he knew.
Nut! Olympic Melo will be probably one of the most deadly fucking scorers in the mode, hands down. I don't care what kind of scaling, I don't care what kind of upgraded card of Melo will come out in the future. Olympic Melo is going to be that dude. I'm gonna hold on to this for my sub questions and answered video because I do have some juicy fucking news in there. But in regards to wagers and trading, when I asked about it, I was given 2K's favorite line to be sure to stay tuned for that because the entire mode was not revealed to us, especially the auction house features. When I was asking about it, I was just told it was made more user friendly rather than giving the new features of it completely. So I don't know, it's up in the air. It could be a thing, it might not be a thing, we don't know yet. Now as far as the Gauntlet goes, I had asked him about, one of my subs had a question, if any day would NBA 2K have in my team like of a draft champs mode like Madden has. It has a long way to go. I think it's going in the right direction. So now, for example, just as a small thing, which is a huge thing in reality, when you're starting a Gauntlet game, you're going through tiers the same way through every single board, and you're going to get a deck of players that you can choose from in your trial players other than the one that you choose. But no more bronze and silver players will be in it, so you won't just get fucking trolled with like Bill Cartwright and Robert Covington every single time you're trying to find a decent player to jump into the Gauntlet with. It's still going to be 3-on-3, it's still going to be blacktop, and there are going to be 10 levels overall. And also, Technical Fouls is a new card that has been introduced onto the board. So now as you're knocking cards off of the board to get to that player reward, you could fuck around and flip over a Technical Foul card, which is basically just the whammy, and your entire board will get reset. Imagine how fucking annoying that will be, but at the same time, it allows us to have some kind of incentive to keep playing, because if we get that Technical Foul, we probably won't even fucking play for a couple of days because we'll be so upset. I would anyway. But the point is that no, you can't just finish everything about the mode in a couple of months and then have nothing left to do. I doubt you'll be able to sweep every single seed and sweep MyTeam Blacktop and get all the rewards, who also on the Gauntlet now, or MyTeam Blacktop, you will now be able to have diamond reward cards. Yes, you can earn yourself a diamond reward card. Cards, multiple. And he also told me that there will be longevity left into that. They're looking to be able to add more cards in the future as the year goes on. Now, finishing up with earning MT and collector level rewards, I asked him, which was one of the biggest questions that all my subs asked me to ask the guy if I could, is there new ways to earn MT? He said, yeah, there are no accolades. So when you do something specific, you will earn MT for that accolades. For example, getting 20 Sapphire players, 30 Sapphire players, 10 Emerald players, something like that, will now earn you MT. I don't know what the portion size is, but just the fact that it will get you MT, and those are things that will probably rack up kind of quick. And no, he also made the point to me that people really would want to ask that question because of how overvalued some players are on the auction house, right? So especially with the cards that went over millions and millions of MT bids and like that shit. He told me the reason people are asking that question is because they want to be able to afford that card. But now, to be able to counteract that statement, we now give you the chance to earn that card by just playing the game. You can just go out and play the game and earn a diamond. So there is no excuses. If you can't earn that 1 million MT, well, fuck it, go out and play the game and earn that diamond player. I'm gonna scorch the guy that's trying to sell this guy for 1 million MT because he probably fucking sucks. And now finishing up with some collection rewards. Trust me guys, I don't know all of them, so don't ask me like I know. I just know a few of them that I've heard. For example, Wilt will be a collector reward, as in collect X amount of cards. And Abe told me that also there will be more cards in the game to collect, and your collector level because of that will now skyrocket really quickly and faster. So Wilt is a collector reward. I believe Jerry West is a collector reward. There's a diamond penny in there somewhere, and I know that motherfucker is going to be on my team. Diamond Drazen Petrovic. And also when you beat MyTeam Online, the whole first seed, if you sweep the first seed, all of that, you will get a pink diamond Tim Duncan, which was very, very, very exciting to hear. Actually, with how the post note is this year, you can probably do some work with that card, and I'm sure that they added that just as, you know, Tim Duncan's final goodbye. They did it for him and Kobe because Tim Duncan is the reward for beating MyTeam Online. Collecting the GOAT collector level, you know how last year it was, you know, Diamond Iverson and then Diamond Jordan last year. The one for this year is pink diamond Kobe Bryant, and it is the 81 point Kobe. So that should be, I don't even know if I can even make that, but honestly for Kobe I would at least try to make the effort. It would probably be impossible to be honest with you. And if you, and also I forgot to mention, if you do beat MyTeam Online, you can prestige, and it gives you some kind of a badge or a ribbon next to your team so people can see like, oh shit, this motherfucker is real. And then you start all the seeds all over again. I'm not sure if it's new rewards or just you being able to get the old rewards again and probably selling them to the people that are too lazy to sweep the seeds for the rewards. Either way is a win-win because then you don't just have nothing to do after you beat the mode. And that is about it. It was such a handful dealing with all of these notes and everything in here. I probably even missed one or two things, but I'm pretty sure I got all the main things, which is important. If you have any specific questions, go ahead and ask me them. I still have my sub questions video. I'm going to do that as I wrap up and go through the vlogging that I did while I was out there. I'm going to show the mocap sessions with Carl Anthony Towns and D'Angelo Russell and go over all the sub questions I had, ranging from gameplay to my team as well, and all of that stuff. Even talking about some of that infamous momentum, aka algorithm. I got some word on that from the devs as well, and that's going to be in my sub question answer video, so look out for that, which will be over this weekend as well. Like I said, have any extra questions about my team, leave them in the comments and I'll answer them to the best of my ability. Hit me up on Twitter if you can, hit me in the comments if anything. And yeah, yo, we are almost there. I can't wait. The game, I haven't even seen my team mode, but just playing it, my hype is there. I'm ready to play the game. I can't even go back to playing 2K16 again. Fucking piece of shit.